Hi everyone, this is Ashley, and today I thought I would make a video about men and some of the perceptions we ladies sometimes falsely have about men. Two very important things I feel like all women, whether you're in a relationship or not, should know about men. So the first one is that men do not have it figured out. Okay, it doesn't matter how beautiful a guy looks or how together he may appear. Um, he doesn't have it figured out, and in terms of women, he knows even less about that. The average guy on the street, just the average man who is not some kind of Casanova, are really terrified of women. Okay, most guys have no idea how to approach women, how to talk to women, how to even read a woman or any of the signs that a woman gives. They really have no clue what is going on. And a lot of guys who, tend to fall into relationships, probably because the woman was the one guiding them a lot of the way. So what I kind of want to say is that just because men aren't approaching you, or you don't get approached that much, or you see a really gorgeous guy next time you go out, don't naturally assume he's capable of getting women, because most likely he's not. Most likely he is just terrified. When you go to a nightclub or something, you see a group of guys like standing around or dressed nice and stuff. They're probably all terrified of the women around and have no idea how to approach the women, how to talk to them, or any of that stuff, right? So what I'm trying to say is, whether there's a guy you're interested in, or there's a guy you from a distance perceive as too good for you, or something like that, okay, don't think that way, because they feel exactly the same as you do. They are just as scared about approaching you as you would be about approaching them. And the other thing I want to say about men in terms of approaching a guy, or showing you're interested, let's be clear that most guys cannot read a woman at all. Like they're really, really bad at reading the signals that you think you're giving him. So, for example, a lot of people advise me, if you want to get a guy's attention, make eye contact, smile, look inviting and open, and he will probably know you're interested, right? Well, this is not the case at all. Okay, just because you're looking at a guy and he sees you're looking at him, or even if you smile at him, doesn't really mean he's going to instantly know you're interested, or that he's going to come up to you and talk to you. Okay, a lot of times if you just look at a guy, he might think, well, you're just looking in his general direction, or you're just looking at someone behind him, or you're just smiling at someone behind him. He's not going to get that you're actually interested in him. And even if he does sort of think, oh, she's kind of interested, that does not mean that he's going to approach you and come up to you and say something, because like I said, men are terrified of women, and the last thing they want is to mistakenly get the signals wrong and then approach you and then be completely shut down. Okay, a lot of guys are terrified of rejection. Okay, and it doesn't get easier no matter how good looking you are. So even the best looking guys out there, they are just as scared of rejection as anyone else. And in fact, they're probably more scared of rejection, because what I'm probably guessing is that they're not used to, they have even less experience approaching women, because most likely women approach them. So they have been taught to not risk anything, not make that risk to get rejected. So most likely they will not come up at all. So that's knowing that, I think it helps then for you to feel like, okay, if you can help the guy out a bit and make a move, make that move towards him, say hello first, break the ice, it will just make it so much easier. It will make him relax a bit more, like, oh, you've made a move, now he feels more comfortable to say more as well, and it just it kind of helps him out a little bit. So that's definitely something pretty useful to know about men. Now, the second thing about guys that I think is pretty important has to do with what puts a guy off. Now, this is a pretty universal behavior, but what is pretty off-putting is when you come across needy. And the whole needy thing, I think you can come across needy without realizing you're coming across needy. So how I like to think of it is that when you are needy, you appear as if you want to take someone else's time from them. Okay, so when, like we naturally know when someone is like desperate or wants something from us. So when a woman comes across as needy, then a guy will perceive her as wanting to take his time. And a man's time is important to him because he doesn't, like, one of his fears is to be tied down with a woman and to feel like his time and his energy and his freedom is lost because of a woman, right? That's kind of why a lot of men, I guess, hesitate from commitment because of that reason. So if he just started seeing a woman and she already starts exhibiting those signs that she wants to, talk to him every night, or she wants to see him every week and want to move the relationship along faster than he feels comfortable doing, then he's going to push her away because he wants to keep his time, he wants to keep his freedom and enjoy himself. He doesn't want to worry about, this woman, what she thinks, what she's worrying about, her problems. He doesn't want to adopt her problems, right? He's got enough of his own problems to deal with. So the opposite of being needy then is, I think, a woman who has an interesting life, has enough of an interesting life that she doesn't feel a need to try to go out and need to be with someone else, need to spend time with someone else, need to talk to someone else, or need to have a relationship right here and right now, sort of thing. So think about that. Next time, if a guy asks you, what are you doing on the weekend? What are you doing next week? Instead of saying nothing, not much, which kind of make it sound like, well, you don't have much going on in your life, like you're just sitting around waiting for a guy to ask you out. Instead, say, I'm not sure yet. So by saying that, it kind of comes across as saying, well, I've got options, but I'm not sure which of the options I'm going to choose. And that's where, you're trying to tell a guy that you've got an interesting life, you've got options, you don't have to be with him or talk to him, but it would be fun, it would be nice if you do, hang out and talk. So I think like those subtle things makes a massive difference. And not just in terms of dating guys, but I think just talking to people in general. If you just come across as a very together, laid back person, then it's a lot easier finding people who wants to be your friend or wants to, who are attracted to you instead of you feeling like you need to go out and get things or get that guy. Instead, attract him by just having an awesome life, some personality yourself. So those would probably be the two big things about men that I would like to share for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll get back to you and make some more videos for you next week. Thank you.